Are we live-ish? I think I am live. So, Star Wars role-playing game prep. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I think I'll start with reading what happened last time. I think that's going to be a smart move. We are in the right Google Drive folder. There is a lot of campaigns in this Google Drive. Let's just see. And I polled Twitter, and Twitter said to do the stream in English, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm also going to translate if my notes are a mess. They are German and English mixed, and I'm going to translate the important things on the fly so you can follow. Let's just open this notes file. So what happened before? Well, okay, that has changed. There was an in-game downtime. We did that. The players captured lots of proton torpedoes and were basically rich, independently wealthy. And but they decided to stay with the rebellion. So this means they have lost the money. So there's a calculation of four chests, 20 torpedoes per chest, 750 credits per torpedo, and that's 500,000 credits right there, which is excessively much for Star Wars. This is our first stream in a while, so I'm not sure how the technical side is working out. I also don't stream at this time of day usually. And I just want to check if I'm dropping frames. So it says I'm dropping 0 frames. That's nice. That's nice. Excellent. Where were we? Right, the notes. Last time. Season 2, Episode 2, Rebel Yell. That is an anagram of something. I don't remember of what. Really don't remember. Pelt Dan Dana Dane Dead. I can't remember. That was the opening crawl. Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There were Tals, prisoners. Exactly. I remember. Right. And there are Imperial names to be filled out later. By the way, if you are one of my players, just watch something else. And there's a house rule there. Learn binary. Whenever a PC accumulates his third triumph while rolling his computers versus at least a hard purple difficulty to understand binary, that character becomes fluent. Right, and I agreed upon this house rule with the players. Right. Right, and the next scene is going to be the commander returning. There's the players prepped a questionnaire for their fake inspection. The trooper barracks have been checked by Thalia. That's good. And we agreed to give the two players, because they are ex-Imperial, we agreed to give them 1 to 2 boost dice to roll for basically everything that's even remotely Imperial in this situation where they fake themselves, where they show inspection badges and some such. Oh wow, you can see when I switch tasks. That's actually, well, I don't know how private I'm here. I have to be anyway. I am usually an open person. So it's I won't worry about it too much. Just have basic precautions in place, like no passwords on the walls or something, or no notifications. That's basically my precautions, and nothing more. So okay, I have a plan somewhere. There was a layout of the Imperial prisoner camp that the two-player characters are raiding at this moment. I did that in Inkscape, and let's just look for the map. Oh, this is D&D. Wrong game. Star Wars, Fantasy Flight Games, Team Orek. That's the session, the campaign we are playing in. Locations and maps. I need the newest SVG file. I'm sorry, I have a bit of a cough. I also have green tea, which is the Jedi's drink. So, that was the base. That was the base layout of the command building. I think the players have not seen this. The legend, what the numbers mean. They know some numbers, but not all. This is the reception area. Like, oh, this is even in English. Oh, there you go. Speeder bike hangar. I think they left through the front door. Right, they know that there's a speeder bike exit at the back of the room, right? Also, I need to check if OBS is recording this, because I'm not really a streamer, so things will get deleted if they are not recorded. If I want to rewatch my own stream and see what I did well and what I did wrong, I need this to be recording. Hello OBS, are you recording? If I'm streaming, am I also recording? I think I am, because I can't change these settings right now. So yeah, it looks nice. It looks okay. It hasn't created the file yet, but it might still do that in the future. Okay, I'm still not dropping any frames, which is very nice. Okay. So the next scene is the base commander finding them, right? So high security brig, grid map. Ooh. Was there already combat in the last game? It seems to be. Yeah. So they already freed the Tals? I can't remember for the life of me. I'm terrible. Terrible game master. Do not listen to me. Um Curious. Curious. S123 are stormtroopers. This is the officer. I think they cleared this room already. Where is the map of the entire of the of the um, of the buildings? Right, there should be one. Is this the newest one? No, this is the newest one. No, this this this. Well, well, what have we here? German again. Yes, German again. Okay. Um, so there's a steel wall. It's seven corners. Commando building is number 1. The troopers barrack has 40 stormtroopers. That's too much for, so they can't take them on, like head on. There's a radio station. Right, I remember this. They can signal for reinforcements if they take over building 3. There is a maintenance building which they can use to fix stuff, or maybe jury rig something, bombs or something along those lines. As a speed repair shop, that's probably there for a reason I don't remember. Maybe I imagined them being like flying the speeders out to capture more enemies. So, and the hyperspace fuel tank, shield generators, and ion cannons in building 6. Okay. And there are 100 talls, so they can't fight 40 stormtroopers. They can maybe kill them via some bomb or something, but they can't fight them. And they can't, without reinforcements, they can't free 100 talls from this base. So they will want to take over the HoloNet building number 3. They will want to do that to signal for troop transports or something else, maybe a frigate. I can't remember whether I told them that the planet is under blockade. Let me just check that. Did I say the planet was under a blockade? The continent is on entirely ice and tundra. It's warmer climate for the talls. And they want it right. So they could just free the talls and let the talls fight the stormtroopers. I think that was kind of the plan last time. Not entirely 100% sure. Okay, so that's the most obvious approach to solving this, is like free the talls and hello? Why? Hello? All right. So Inkscape is buggy. That's what I learned just now. Inkscape is a bit buggy. Maybe it doesn't like OBS. I don't know. Okay. So things are looking quite good for the players. They are planned for the next. They have a plan for the next scene. They have this checklist they want to go through with the station commander. But I guess the station commander is on to them now. I think. So I imagine this like. I have quite an imagination, which is really helpful when prepping role-playing games. So what I'm seeing from my mind's eye is like the Talls are killing the stormtroopers. They are freeing their members of their species. The rebellion sends a troop transport down to pick up the Talls, and at this point, the prisoner base commander and some officers are being being loaded onto the rescue ship as lost members of now prisoners of war, right? So they have to be treated fairly because it's a rebellion and they are the good guys. And what happens is there is a shuttle or a transport or maybe even a TIE fighter which will land immediately in front of the players and exit an Inquisitor. So the players need to fight a really tough fight to allow the ship to start and to launch and the prisoners to survive. Because I imagine the Inquisitor would be like, oh, these are force sensitive rebels. I can deal with them later. I need to kill those officers. They have secrets of the empire. They should not be allowed to be taken captured alive, right? So that's what I'm going for in my mind right now. I have this scene is like epic, and there's dust coming up, and Tal's fleeing, and it's like a movie for me, right? So and now the thing is, I want to put this into stats. So I need to have an Inquisitor, and luckily the Ogg dude, which I want to give money to, but doesn't reply to my messages on Twitter. Ogg dude has this excellent Ogg dude's Star Wars character generator and GM tools, and these GM tools have NPC generators, which is great, but they also have Inquisitor button. Like, so if you want your Force sensitive players to be really challenged, you click the Inquisitor button, and we're calling the new Inquisitor like what do we want? What do we want in the character of this Inquisitor? Do we want a cruel one, or just a deadly efficient one who might not even be on board with inflicting a lot of pain, but just wants to get the mission done? So I guess the cruel evil Force user trope is overused. So I'd rather go with someone that's like unemotional, cold, right? And it's a cold planet, so Tals are adapted to very cold climates. So let's just roll with that. Let's just roll with a cool-headed, mission-oriented Inquisitor. Right, name. So what I usually do is I go into Latin and bastardize something out of Latin, because that's what apparently the writers of Star Wars do. What is winter in Latin again? Is it hiemalo, hiemalis, hiema, hiemalo? I think it is. Let me just Latin dictionary. So I know this. Listen, this is the process. That's the way I do session prep. Hiemali. Of winter time, rainy, stormy, wintry. Ah, it's an adjective. Right, right. So the first name is Hiemalis. Yeah, I think that's the name. Let's not overcomplicate things. Assign characteristic values. Let's go back to the Octude's character creator. So characteristic values, ability, intellect, cunning. Well, but that's one heck of an attribute array. So I want this guy to be different, right? And the Inquisitors, they have that lightsaber that can turn on its own, and you can use it as a chopper, like to move around in the air, like you can fly or levitate a bit with or glide a bit with a lightsaber. So I want to do that. That's a given. But I also want this guy to have an awesome ranged weapon. I don't want it to be Force Lightning, but I want to give him a weapon like a pistol, a heavy blaster pistol maybe, that will do a lot of damage, that the Inquisitor can use to pick out the officers. So he would like defend with the lightsaber and fire at the officers the players are trying to protect. So I'm beginning to think that this is actually a good idea. I think the Inquisitor dropping in at the extraction time is realistic because the players have to wait for rebel reinforcements too, and there's 40 stormtroopers to subdue, and by that time a silent alarm could easily reach a nearby Inquisitor. So he's likely in his own hyperspace capable ship. I don't want a Star Destroyer complicating things, right? So he has to be in a hyperspace enabled tie or in a shuttle or transport of some kind. So right. So I'm going to lower the brawn by 1 and up the agility. Oh, it did that on its own. That's sweet. Oh, I think this Inquisitor creator might even respect the rules for creating Inquisitors from the books, which is great. And we'll leave it at that. Like the agility has to be high for him to do a lot of damage with a ranged light. So next step is I don't want this. So the primary rank 4 has to be ranged light. Hmm? The secondary has to be lightsaber, and the tertiary can be brawl, melee, gunnery, or ranged heavy. Brawl, melee. Melee, then he could use a vibro axe or something like that. Well, let's just go with brawl because I guess the players would like Hiemali to be disarmed at some point. Choose general skill package. The Acolyte has deception, discipline, leadership, perception, survival, and vigilance. This means vigilance of 3 yellow means most likely with this skill set the Inquisitor will go first in any given round. Like so. So what else is there? The assassin, vigilance, but a small amount. Stealth. I'm not. The brute. I'm very against being the brute. The investigator has computers, perception, skullduggery, streetwise, and vigilance. So this would be a good pick, particularly because of computers and perception, for the Inquisitor to have if I wanted him to pursue the players. So, do I want him to do that? Yes or no? I guess I can always make up an excuse for doing that, so let's do it. The the investigator. Choose up to 2 talents. Can I just be adversary? Just plain adversary doesn't cut it here, right? So parry is parry improved? Like, what does crippling blow do? Increase the difficulty of next combat check by 1. If the check deals damage, target suffers 1 strain. Whenever he moves for the remainder of the encounter. That sounds pretty cool. So a combat check, so he can cripple and slow the mobility of the player characters by using his ranged light attack, because that's a combat check. It doesn't have to be a lightsaber strike. So this is good. I'm going to go with crippling blow and reflect 4. So he can defend against range. He's not as strong when defending against melee or lightsaber attacks, or brawl even. Do we say melee? Melee? C'est français, n'est-ce pas? Alors, on dirait melee. Oh, there are force powers in here. Excellent lightsaber mastery. From agility. Let's pick that one because the players should too. This is a good ability. Terrifying is not what I want. Unleash, I specifically said I would want ranged force powers. I want him to blaster fire the guys. Move and influence. Move And the influence. I guess I'm going for move. Next step. So suggested equipment. Damage 6. Heavy blaster pistol. Damage 7. Heavy blaster pistol. Why is that twice? Why is that in here twice? Mm. This is the same thing. I can't see a difference, so let's just check and check. And robes. Ooh. Is there a problem? Ah, step 4 of 4. I have to click finish. Finish. Inquisitor Himal is successfully created. Would you like to modify this Inquisitor now? Yes, I would. Right. Yes, this is okay. Right. And okay. This guy. Stat block, please. Oof. Such block, much stat. Wow. Um. Why, Google Drive? Why are you doing this to me? Excellent. So that's Hiemalis stat block version 001.png. So this is my process. I'm now completely out of the creative phase. I'm just not there, and I need to rearrange this huge stat block. First, before I rearrange this into 3 columns, let's just see if it's correctish. Yeah, that's a one heck of a deadly skill. The players will have a hard time with this Inquisitor. That's for sure. It's adversary 3. I didn't even check that. It's just that's the default for Inquisitors. Mm-hmm. And you can use agility, and the combat check is increased in difficulty, and if you deal damage regardless, you can't move without taking strain. And defense against range, right? That's what we wanted, and we have move. So how many? Force rating 3. Yeah, so. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. So any pip here, the Inquisitor rolls can increase the silhouette. So if it's a lightweight shuttle that transports the Tals like back and forth, he might be able to even use the force to stop that shuttle from taking off, right? Because if you have 3 force rating and you roll, let's say 4 pips, you get 1 object, a silhouette 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow. And then he can hurl, additionally, he may hurl an object at opponents, making a discipline check with difficulty equal to the silhouette of the object. So like if discipline 4, what is his discipline? Discipline check is 3 green. So that's not really great, but it's fine. It doesn't have to be great. It's this is a tough as nails opponent already, like with adversary 3 and range light 4. Right, can hurl objects, so that's also cool. Double-bladed lightsaber with low damage, a heavy blaster pistol with better skill with more damage. Bit more difficult to get a crit out of it, but that's fine. And there's robes for defense, soak 2, bronze 6, so bronze 4 equals or soak 6, and there's defense which doesn't really do a lot, but it's there. And the thresholds are insane. Okay, I'm looking forward to playing this guy. Um, let's just put it like this. Like this. So, and then this is, the size is like 3000 pixels. No, the height is 3000 pixels. So I should be fine by when every column is like 1.1300 pixels, it should be fine. So like I'm going to put 1300 is about here. Yeah. So a cut here and make it 1300 long, like a cut here again. So the image canvas has to be expanded to allow for 3 times this. Let's round up to 2400 and change. And then I cut this column out and reinsert it. So I always do these things right in the moment, in the very moment I have the problem. I usually tackle the issues I'm having with the tool. So like I had this idea. I don't have to be creative right now. This is basically a simple form of working with graphics software. It's not taxing my creativity in any way, and I like to have it done. Okay, so oh, that was the wrong. I need to cut this off. So, I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong layer. So I have no education in graphic design or something. I just like to use GIMP. I've been using GIMP for a long time, and it's working for me and for my games. It's not everyone's piece of software, that's for sure. Like this, maybe. And now I can merge them down. So, and then there's a new thing I learned. It's uh, to content, resize to content, I think it's called, crop to content, right? And it does this, and that's very nice. And we need a white background, so this and so. So here's our Inquisitor, and going to look gorgeous and easy to print. Print version RC1. I think it's fine. I think the release candidate one is the thing I'm going to go with. I very strongly assume that. So, you know, so I have to consider that the players might not realize that they can free the tools to create havoc. So it's season 2, episode 3, and guess this is it. And taking a few notes. Basically what I told you earlier. Let's just Google for hyperspace capable TIE fighters. No. Ooh, the TIE Phantom. It would be an excellent pick for a Sith, right? The Inquisitor would be very cool in the Starfighter. Hugely expensive Starfighter. Mark III Stygium cloaking device. A TIE Phantom. Well, let's just run with this. This sounds good. And we need the image. So like, hello, Oric. Ships. Where is ships? Inquisitor Himalis TIE Phantom. Sorry. This. And we want to have. It's cool. There's a preview in Google Drive now. Have not realized this before. Like, and the inlay of images helps me process the checklists faster. So I always put them in my sheets, even though I don't need them. I know how the TIE Phantom looks, and the players don't get to see this document. But yeah, I'm doing this because it helps me scroll quickly, and it's just faster than reading if you have the occasional image in your document. So and that's the stat block of the Inquisitor. This can't really optimize. That's not too bad. Is this actually readable if I zoom in? No. Yeah, it's tough to read, but it's possible. Okay, fine. I will likely print the stat block and the ship, so I can hand it to the players like this. So yeah. Do we want Braveheart William Wallace pun here? Do we want a pun in the title of the episode? I don't think so. It's not necessary. Like this. Okay. More. Okay. I think the Tals leader. I have the Tals leader already. Here. So this is in development. I have this NPC sheet which I would like to use, and it's very much in development. So what I intended to do was like to pick the Dungeons and Dragons thing I have. Hello. Like it's an NPC sheet, so it doesn't have stats or special abilities as much as it has how the person speaks, how they interact, how they what's their strongest attribute, what's the worst, what are their flaws, what are their strengths, and I want to put that into Star Wars like because attributes are different and skills are more important than attributes than in D&D. And also, I had the idea of these three pillars. The pillars are if the players encounter the opponent or the NPC right there from distance. So the most important thing at first is how do they look? Then the players start interacting with them, and then the second most important thing is how they act. A voice, the personality, strengths and flaws, and ultimately strengths and flaws could also be what they are. But the idea is only in the last stage do players realize, okay, this NPC tells us this, looks like this, but is actually something else. So these are the three stages of encountering an NPC. Well, my idea of a way of three stages of encountering an NPC. So what I would like to do is I'm going to work on this sheet a bit and just make it prettier for the moment, because it helps me if things are orderly on the PC. I'm a mess in real life. I have too much stuff and I can't throw things away easily. But it helps a lot in prepping sessions if your documents are in order. So my Google Drive, the RPG folder in my Google Drive is like the best organized stuff, place I have in the world, and I would like to keep it that way. So why don't you snap now? Why no snap? Because this bounding box should snap to these guides, and I think there's snap to edges of a bounding box. I think that's what I want, right? And I need to have snap to guides somewhere. Snap bounding boxes. Okay, maybe this. Doesn't do anything. Let's take it away again. Don't snap that. I need both. But I also need snap to guides. Snap to center. So snap rotation, snap text anchors, snap to the border, snap to grids, snap to guides. So grids I don't use in this document, so guides I do. It doesn't snap. Inkscape, why are you doing this to me? Hmm. 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 Oh, now it's snapping corners. Bounding box, connect to grid. Yeah, that's connect to guide. That's oh. Oh, I see the problem. The Y as so I need to. That's going to be difficult. I don't think Inkscape can do this. Bounding box corner to guide. Bounding box to corner to intersection. That's okay. Let's just do this and then arrange the other two. Oh, so this should be the same, right? It's also a Y that's making the bottom stand out, and there's also a Y. So I don't even have to do fancy alignment stuff. It just works. Okay, this is good. That's good. So this has to be a bit lower. I like everything here to snap to the no. Are you kidding me? It only snaps the bounding box corner. That's good. Bounding box corner to guide. Not to guide intersection even. Snap nodes. paths and handles. Snaps bounding boxes. No. Escape. So, some text messages, which I will look at later. Oh, so the obvious solution is just put another guide, right? Put another guide, so you will have another guide intersection you can snap to. Woo! Problem solved. Problem solved the amateurish way. So, and now these. Oh, now it works. Bounding box to corner to guide. Oh, that's working. It's working. It's great. Right. So, and now I want to add. Now I want to have the same distance from those, like this, please. Excellent. That's good. Oh, didn't want to move that. Mm-hmm. 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 I intentionally have a bigger font for this, so I can center it, and it pops out a bit, right? Ultimately, you want to have the info or information in purple to be the relevant stuff, right? So, okay. I want to have this line up with this, and then I want to have these to have the same distance. So this is very good. It's working. Yeah. So I realized that this game master preparation is very different for everyone, right? And this is my process. I just flex my other creative muscles once I have figured out the basics of what I want to happen in the game, and that's just my process. And it's okay if you don't share the process, of course. I mean, wait, I missed this. Okay. Are we still parallel here? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a stat block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we would be if I would have would be fine. Would be fine. Like, okay. So, and the theory is if you have such a form, right, you can use it for any other game too. Like in this case, it makes most sense to use it in any other Star Wars game. But in my experience, I usually spend time a lot with reinventing the wheel because it fits this situation, and the 3 columns I think are a fine idea too. But does it have? Is it really such a good way to bundle information. Is it reusable? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, this is fine. I just want it to be a bit to the left like this, and we need to put the flaws a bit to the left like this. So that's the form, right? So now I'm going to save it. Oops, going to save it and save it under a different name. It's still okay, right? I misclicked earlier, but I think it's arrived. So, and I'm going to export this as a PNG with 120 dpi. That's fine. It's the version 7 of the TALS leader, and it's release candidate 01. And go. So now I can print this from whenever I want. It's okay. Yeah. So I have. Just taking stock for the from the first half, from the first hour actually, almost, of prep. I have figured out what happens next time. And you will notice I didn't in any way include what the commander will do or so. I'm just going to improvise this. So, and I have a plan for the players. If they are stuck, they can free the tals, and it's going to be a dirty fight. If they want to have want to live through something else, if they want to, if they have a different plan of getting the tals out, that's fine too. But I really want them to engage with the Inquisitor, and I would love to be like this Darth Maul thing, where people are hurrying to enter the starship that takes them away, and then in drops the evil guy, and the Jedi have to cover the exit of the civilians and almost get killed themselves in the process, or maybe they even lose a resource that's important to them, as a lightsaber or something. And that's what's going to happen with this insanely strong Inquisitor. They need to back away from this fight for the time being. And I want, of course, you always want the recurring villain, right? And the players are so adept at killing recurring villains that they are never going to recur anyway. In this case, I think I might have gone overboard with the difficulty. I think that this Inquisitor can easily take on all the stormtroopers and the players and the Tals, because the range damage is going to be insane. If you fire a blaster and every success increases your damage, yeah, they're going to fall like flies. If the civilian Tals are like minions, this is not going to be a challenge for this Inquisitor to kill 100 Tals. It just takes time. Maybe, well, what if the players would go really dark side and tell the Tals to engage the Inquisitor so they don't have to? Is that a bit cruel? I think it's really that's cold, right? I would have to give them a huge amount of conflict, which is fine. Players can deal with conflict, and players usually enjoy teasing or playing with the dark side of things. I don't want to, but don't want to prohibit them from doing that. So it's just going to cost some conflict if you do. So yeah, right. So is the session finished? I think it never will be, but I guess if I had to play tomorrow, it would be fine. If I had to have to play it in 2 weeks, there might be things that come to my mind that I think, oh, there's a hole in this plan, or you need to patch this, or this could happen and it would be awesome. And ultimately, this is going to be the most important encounter in this compound, but it's going to be one of the shorter encounters in this prisoner situation in this compound of imperial stuff. So it's going to be a fight, and it might be take some time to fight through, but there will be more time in the afternoon for the players to start something new. So maybe next time when I stream, I will go and write part 2 of episode 3, Freedom. And I hope it's going to be interesting-ish. I know that I can use this. I have no idea how that how good that went for any people who might have been watching or might have not been watching. Um, anyway, if you've been watching, thank you. If you have not been watching, you won't read this, you won't listen to this anyway. So thank you for joining me, and there will be another stream of game prep. I enjoyed this a lot, and I like to share my thoughts even uh, if I don't have an immediate response. So just putting that out there. Have a nice day, and wish you a good time. Bye.